Stampers, I've got a fun to create silhouette card for you today, and this is using the Feathered Flight Stampin' Up! Stamp set. This is just a really pretty duck stamp set, and it has ducks in different poses and some great sentiments and a little pond down here. And we're going to be using this stamp set. It's really pretty. It's item number 162726. This is not in the catalog. You can find it online, and I'm going to have a link to it down below this video. Just click more and you'll see it there, along with all the products that I used and the dimensions for the panels for the card. So here we go. We're going to start with our main panel today. And I have a basic white panel here, and this is 3.5 by 4 3/4. And then I have a double layer of Post-it notes that I punched out with a 1-inch circle punch. So I just took 2 Post-it notes. I got my 1-inch circle punch here. This is a retired punch, but you probably have a punch or a die somewhere, and you can do a different size. Do any size that you want. I just grabbed a 1-inch one, and I just take 2 layers of Post-it notes. I have the sticky part up here, and I'm just going to punch this out. I just make sure that it's all in there and give it a punch, and there is my mask, and it's a double layer so that you don't have any color that seeps through. I've tried using 1 layer, and that's just too thin, and sometimes I have some of that ink will go through and stain my card where I don't want it. So I want this nice and bright where that sun is. So we're going to get going here, and I'm going to start with crushed curry ink and a blending brush. And we're just going to take this crushed curry and we're just going to do a circle around this. I have this mask, a little over 1 inch above the bottom of the panel there. And I'm just going to do a circular motion there with that crushed curry. Just like that, making a spot around it. And when you do it on top of your mask, you don't have to worry about holding it down. It won't flip up on you or anything. But there is that, and that's our crushed curry. I think that's a really pretty color to have around your sun. And then we're going to do pumpkin pie. So we're getting a little darker as we go out. So I'm going to grab a blending brush for that. And I'm just going to kind of go around that crushed curry there. I just want to make sure I'm not obliviating all of it. And then you can start doing your circular motions and start filling in the rest of your card there. Kind of leave a little bit of that crushed curry showing all the way around that sunspot there. And then we're just going to color the rest of the card in with that pumpkin pie. I'm using lots of ink, so we get some nice deep color here. I think that's pretty. There we go. Maybe a little bit more right here. And there we have that. So that is our pumpkin pie. Then I'm going to go a little darker right at the top of my sky. I'm going to bring in some Cajun Craze. And grab a blending brush for that, and I'm going to put some here at the top of the sky. There we go. And there is our sky already done. So I'm going to remove our mask here. And we're going to go ahead and stamp our ducks. So I have this large duck here, and you can use, there's a couple different ones here. I have the one where the wings are up above the duck, and then there's one here where the wings below it. You could use that one also. But I'm going to use this one where he's got his wings fanned out. I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black to stamp it in. Now this stamping is just to show us where we need to color at, because we're going to color this duck in. So he's a silhouette, which makes it super easy. And I'm going to stamp him just a little bit onto that sun shape. And because I'm layering those images, it gives you some depth in your scene. So there is that duck. And I love how, if we weren't just going to color it in black, you have all this shading in that duck when you stamp it. And that's just all already done in the stamp itself. Now we have this image of these three little ducks, which are great that they're included, because we can put them up here in the sky, and then it really looks like he's in the foreground, and then there's more ducks way back in the background. So I'm just going to stamp those two in that Memento Tuxedo black up here. And we're going to go above him. There we go. And there they are. Super cute. And you can also use those in all kinds of scenes, just to have them out there in the distance. So we're done with that ink. And I'm going to bring in a marker here, and this is just a Stampin' Right basic black marker. You can use your Stampin' Blends black marker, and I'd use the darkest one for the black. But I'm just going to use the brush end here, and I'm going to color in. Let's start with coloring his whole body in here before we get to his wings. And I'm just coloring the whole thing in. Just make sure you're not going outside of your duck. And then for his wings, I'm just going to bring this down here. Really simple just to color this in. Now with his feathers, I'm coloring not the entire length of the feathers. I'm making lines here, and I'm leaving the tips that grayish color that they look like when they're just stamped, and that way it gives like a highlight in his wing. So we're going to color this part in here. Do this wing. And I think I'm just going to color that part in there too. And then do the same thing with this wing. We're just going to come in and color it, but not color all the way down to the tips where they fan out. And then he has just a little bit of highlight in his feathers there. Now we're just going to do our little ducks here. And I'm just going to quickly color them in a bit, just so they look like they're silhouettes. I don't worry about their little feathers on their wings. They're just teeny tiny, and I'm mainly just doing their bodies, their heads, and just the inside of their wings there. There we go. And that way we don't have to worry about all that tiny little detail. So there are our ducks. Don't they look great in that sky? I just love that. So now I'm going to bring my Memento Tuxedo black back out. And I have a sponge here. And I'm just going to sponge these grasses in at the bottom. See how they're just kind of curved? We're going to be doing I'm going to say like the top of a C. And I'm pinching my sponge really good here at the tip. And that way I can just put these little grasses on here at the bottom. And I want them to look like they're blowing in the wind. Now these are all light and feathery. The harder you push, the darker they are. You can go back over them like I am here. But I want them to look nice and feathery. Not like a solid mass. So there is our grasses. That was easy to do, right? And you can always practice on your scrap paper before you go to your panel. But super easy to do. Just remember that you're doing like the top of a C, like from the middle of the C to the top edge. And looky there, there is our finished panel all done. So I'm just going to swap out my paper here, my scrap paper. I don't want ink on my panels where I don't want it. Okay, so now we're just going to start putting things together. I'm going to bring in my panels here, and I have a Cajun Craze card base here, 5.5 by 8.5, and I folded it in half to create my quarter card. And then I have a basic black panel, and this is 3 3/4 by 5. And then I'm going to add my main panel. I'm going to add a clear over to be flush with the left-hand side of that black panel. So that's how I'm going to put it on. I'm just going to use my multi-purpose glue, but you can use whatever adhesive you prefer. That's just I went clear over to the left-hand side. It's just a way to add some interest to your card, so it's just not all centered up with your panels there. We're going to do the same with our card front. We're going to bring these panels clear to the left-hand edge there and line them up with the left-hand side. There we go. See, isn't that pretty? Just like that. We're going to add a couple little black strips, though. I have 2 little black strips here, and they are 1/4 inch by 1 inch. So I just cut 2 of those. And I'm just putting this on again just for a little embellishment. I don't like to put a lot of bows and stuff on cards that I may be sending to men. So I'm just going to add these over here and butt it up against that black panel that we have going there. Try to put it on as straight as possible. Then I'm going to add another one. So I got 2 of them here. Just add another one underneath it. I like that. Now I have some brushed metallic adhesive back dots, and I'm going to use a few of those, a couple of those, and put them on. I'm just going to use my tips of my scissors to add these to the edge there. My little strips. And there's the front of our card all finished. That was a quick one, right? Okay, so the inside, I don't know what I'm going to stamp yet inside, so I'm just going to add a couple panels here. This is a basic white panel. I'm going to add some love in there as normal. Basic white panel, that's 3 3/4 by 5. I'm just adding it onto a black panel that is 4 by 5 1/4. And then I'll just add it here inside my card. I like adding these panels inside my card. It offsets the weight of the card front with the panels. So your back doesn't seem flimsy compared to the front. Just it's a nice substantial card to give away. So there is our project for today. I hope you enjoyed this project and that you give it a try. Thanks for joining me today. As usual, toodles!